Ja, und jetzt wird's inhaltlich. Und ich freue mich sehr, dass ich Ihnen ankündigen darf, Donald Brenninkmeijer. Ich weiß nicht, ob Ihnen der Name etwas sagt. Wenn ich sage C und A, dann kann, glaube ich, jeder etwas damit anfangen. Bekleidung, Mode, auch ein Stand hier zu sehen. Vielleicht waren Sie schon da. Donald Brenninkmeijer ist Innovationsmanager bei C und A. Er hat BWL, VWL und Jura studiert, war dann aber auch 12 Jahre in Entwicklungsländern unterwegs, Brasilien, China und Mexiko. Und es ist wirklich eine große Freude, dass sich C&A entschieden hat, nach dem Cradle-to-Cradle-Prinzip zu produzieren. Und warum sie das machen und wie sie das machen, davon hören wir jetzt mehr. Bitte schön.
Good morning, everybody. And to Tim and to Nora, many thanks for the opportunity and the honor to stand in front of you today and to tell a little bit the story of the last 4 or 5 years at CNA and how we have gone on the journey to Cradle. Let's see if this works. I think the journey starts first and foremost by understanding in what world we live and what has happened to our industry over the course of the last 15 years. As you can see from the information behind me, we have gone into massive overdrive with regards to the number of garments produced every year in our industry. With roughly 7 billion people on the planet, as an industry we now produce more than 100 billion garments every year. The growth might not be happening here in Western Europe, but it is certainly happening around the world, with a growth of approximately 10% in each of the developing economies around the world. And what we see is a change and a shift in consumer behavior. Only 15 years ago, on average, would an individual purchase about 9 garments a year. That has now gone up to in excess of 14 or 15 pieces. The rise of technology such as Instagram forces us to sometimes want to post pictures of ourselves. But how often do we want to post pictures of ourselves wearing the same clothes? Therefore, doesn't it make sense to buy more often? And also to spend less, as we might have less disposable income we want to spend in apparel. All of this is causing a massive pressure on our industry, and one that ultimately leads to a situation that looks like this. Of those 100 billion garments produced every year, more than 75% land in either landfill or incineration. And this was a picture that started to influence us as retailers, as businessmen, but also as humans, about what is our responsibility at CNA and in the broader community. And we thought that if we continue to go on this linear model of take from the environment, make the garments, use it, and then dispose it, what would the world start to look like? If we follow the current predictions, if we continue the course as we are doing today, unfortunately the textile industry will take up 25% of the global carbon budget in the next 2 decades, from 2% today. And so we had to change. And how did that change occur at CNA? And how did that change occur within the group of businessmen? 4 years ago, we invited Bill McDonough, who's the co-author of the book Cradle to Cradle, of which the other co-author is also here today, to come and talk to us about the topic of circularity. He kick-started a new way of thinking about things, to stop thinking about how can we eliminate waste and how can we make things less bad, but how can we start to look at doing things in a different way and designing a system whereby we remake, we retake, and we reuse, and we create a circle that is known as the concept of cradle to cradle, which was explained on the earlier slides that we saw this morning. And we set ourselves the challenge to start working and thinking through as a company, how would we take this forward? Well, the first thing we said is, there is no way we can do this alone. Together with our CNA Foundation, we created a center in Amsterdam called Fashion for Good. we worked together with the Cradle to Cradle Institute and Bill McDonough to start thinking about, could we even produce a garment that is possible to meet the standards of Cradle to Cradle? And we chose 2 suppliers to work with us on that journey. One of those suppliers, Philomena John, is here today and is going to be speaking later. But together with a group of committed individuals, we set about the task. When it came to thinking about how do we look at production, how do we look at design, we needed to think in a completely different way. The t-shirts that we were able to produce last year and bring to market were the very first t-shirts that were done in a different way. We had to look at all of the chemical components that go into dyeing and coloring a t-shirt. We had to design and develop new fabrics that, instead of using polyester or nylon in the stitching or in the sew-in labels, were also using the same organic cotton as what we wanted to have. We had to think about the energy, the renewable energy that went into the production of the garments. Fortunately, Philomena and her factory was already using renewable energies such as wind energy and solar energy in the production factory. The water that went into the cleaning process also needed to come out of the process at the end as drinkable water. In this way, over the course of about 9 months, we were able to create a new product which fulfills the standards of Cradle to Cradle and can, if we can actually get there, be redesigned and retaken and remade into a new product at the end of its life. And in the worst case even, they can actually also land on a compost heap and biodegrade within about 11 to 12 weeks and return the nutrients back to the soil. This was a journey of discovery, one that we didn't actually know whether it would be achievable. But we were encouraged by the first signs that we saw. When we brought these products to market, the response from the consumers was incredibly positive. Those first t-shirts that we were able to bring to market sold roughly 75% in the first 3 weeks. That gave us the encouragement to say there are consumers that are wanting to make a positive choice about the types of clothes that they wear. And that encouraged us to say, well, how can we go forward from this? Over the course of the last year, we have developed product categories for men, for ladies, for children, in lingerie, as well as in nightwear and t-shirts, in order to bring together new products into the market that really fulfill a new standard. From our perspective at the moment, there are too few of us that are going on this journey. That's why, with the center in Amsterdam called Fashion for Good, we encourage all types of businesses to come and understand what it took C&A to create those first t-shirts together with our suppliers. From startups to investors, but also to large companies such as Target or PVH and Tommy Hilfiger, to collaborate and to share the learnings of creating new products. Every single product that we have created is open source. You have the ability to download how did we actually make these products? What are they made of? What are the chemical compositions? So that there is a guide through which all of us can actually learn and stimulate others to go on this journey. In the course of this year, and actually only 2 weeks ago, we were able to tackle another product category, which is probably one of the hardest categories to tackle. But it's also one of the most worn products in the world, and that's the denim. We had to rethink how a denim product is made. We had to go to Japan to source elastan in a different way that would also fulfill the standards of Cradle to Cradle. We had to put stitching in our jeans that would actually be able to last, and we had to create that also out of organic cotton so that we could also actually create a product that would meet the gold standards. And 2 weeks ago, we're proud to have been able to launch these jeans in the market here in Europe and start the sales. But we realize we are very far from achieving actually what's needed in our industry. When it comes to the current realities, Only 2% of the world's cotton that is needed to be able to meet the standards of cradle to cradle and be redesigned and reused later is made from organic cotton. If we look at the situation within the supply chain, not many suppliers are actually using renewable energies to actually produce the garments that we are making with them. And also, we have to look at the behavior of ourselves, our communities and our consumers with regards to the number of products that we buy, how long we use them, and what we do with them at the end of their life. One of the key motivations for us after seeing the picture of what's happening to the world and being inspired to think about our business in a new way is that it came down to the values within our business. One of the values that we have at C&A is that of continuous commitment. It's a value that has managed to sustain our business over the course of the last 6 generations and 150 years. And the thought behind this value is to ask ourselves the question every day, how would the future generation and how would our children look back on our actions? And will they look on our actions favorably, or will they say, and specifically for my children, Dad, you knew about this, but you didn't do anything? And that's a value that actually forces us to say as a business, we have to keep going. But in a different disruption to the way that we've looked at business in the past, we can't do this by ourselves. And I would encourage, therefore, anyone who is in the world of the fashion industry, anyone who is committed to making a change, to really understand what it takes, to get involved, to contact us at Also Fashion for Good, and to come on this journey with us, because together we really can make a difference. Thank you.
Ja. Der Beifall sagt es. Vielen, vielen Dank für diese tolle Geschichte. Wir haben dann noch die Gelegenheit, tiefer ins Gespräch zu kommen, aber es war jetzt schon sehr beeindruckend und diesen Slogan, trage den Wandel, den finde ich selber einfach schon mal ganz super. Dankeschön.